it's the real deal, even if I'm going to putz or futz anything else. At least we're recording. Josh, it's happening. Another podcast. How are we doing today, friend?
We're doing.
Yeah?
It's Friday, minus a couple days.
Wrong.
It is one day closer to the NFL season, and I have a lovely wife making dinner as a child screams in his crib, so that's kind of why I'm wanting to hurry up, because I, as a single dad with a wife who does more than me, it is, yeah, I understand. And what do you mean? I'm only one person, so I'm technically a single dad.
I don't think that's how that works. I think the ranch would have a bone to pick with you as someone who was a single dad. I don't think he'd enjoy you trying to come in on his territory, so to speak.
I noticed that a hand had been raised in the audience prior to anybody joining, and it just so happens that, of course, it's the automatic Walters.
Yep, they're here, and you know what? And Audio Al too. They were in here right away. Like they saw the notification, they were in. I don't know if they're commuting home or what, but yep, another summer pod. Like I said, the message. We're going to be talking about best ball a bit because why the hell not? It's the middle of summer, and no one really cares about the mandatory mini camps or the rookie camps or this or that. So, figure we'll get a little bit of talking in there about best ball, and then also Josh, we'll talk about maybe some new features from Sleeper and maybe another thing or two before we head out. But I know you're in a bit of a rush. You won the best ball, getting right into it, no pomp or circumstance. You won the best ball league, the first one you and I had ever tried last year. It's just a freebie. Mika set it up all the way from down under. Unfortunately, he, it was upside down for him, but he still figured out all the settings, upside down or not. But you're the big winner. So, I mean, should I not even talk about best ball and just listen to you the whole time or what?
I mean, that's if I were to provide just one suggestion tonight, that would be it. But since we have a platform where I could provide many suggestions, it's going to just be that one on repeat.
Just listen to you. Well, I mean, okay, so start giving us a little zest or a little pizzazz. You know, well, how do you feel about best ball? Trying it last year, we did a slow draft, so it was like pretty low pressure. We did it over the summer, so very early. I'm sure plenty of people drafted players who were injured and stuff like that. There were no free agent moves. So, I mean, just talk more about best ball, Josh, please. This is a podcast. So you talk.
Yeah, I mean, best ball going into the draft, and like you said, it was slow. I absolutely didn't know what to do, so I just drafted players that I thought were going to do good as the season, as the season went. I treated it no different than redraft, as you might be able to tell by the fact I only drafted one defense and one kicker, and the kicker I drafted happened to go on IR about week 1. So didn't I was playing down a position the entire year. But yeah, when you're playing against a bunch of foreigners and guys like you who don't know anything, couldn't tell a football from a rugby ball, then it's pretty simple to just go in there and dominate.
Josh, I'm going to be honest, that hurts my feelings a little bit. So I pulled up the draft board from last year, and you don't have to do the same thing that I did, but you draft in position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You were in position 8 last year. I was right before you in position 7. I'm sure you remember your first pick, because it would always be your first pick if he's available, but do you remember your first pick in the best ball draft last year?
Oh, Devontae Adams.
Obviously. Who was your second round pick, Josh?
Justin Jefferson.
Oh, do you also have it up in front of you, or do you just remember this?
I just remember it.
Then after that, you took Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Amari Cooper, James Robinson. That one didn't work out. Justin Herbert, Ronald Jones, Laviska Shenault, Robert Tonyan. I mean, this does not sound like a best ball championship team, Josh. Matt Stafford, Irv Smith, Darnell Mooney, maybe, Russell Gage, Latavius Murray. Oh, Amon-Ra St. Brown. That was a good one. Chuba Hubbard did nothing. Nico Collins, no. Amari Rogers, LOL. Yeah, this does not look like a championship team. How the hell did you pull it off?
Coaching. It all comes down to pregame speeches and all that fun stuff. But no, in all honesty, it seemed that when somebody went down, that's when somebody else stepped up. So like Russell Gage one week got me 17 points. I lost that week, but I'm trying to find out. I can't find like the standings to where I finished because I only finished 8-6. So I wasn't the best. But I think I had like a 7-game win streak to finish out the season.
You finished 5th. You were 8-6. I couldn't tell you what your streak was to end the year because I'm not going to go figure that out right now. But yeah, you finished 5th. You were one of 3 8-6 teams, and you were the worst of the 3.
Would you care to look at the after playoff bracket standings?
Well, I'm looking at the before because that's what you were asking about.
I suppose. But yeah, I mean, overall, I just treated it like no different than anything else.
Josh's softball team gave me the vid.
Yeah, well, we had a guy. Yeah, we had a guy who had COVID and didn't go last night, but he was hanging out with another guy on the team. A couple of them, actually. And so, yeah, I think Al got it when he was licking everybody's bat handles. So, and that's not a euphemism.
Al, is there a reason you were licking bat handles? That's interesting. Also, Jesus, got to go home early, though. Oh, boy. But, Al, you're listening to a podcast talking about people who paid attention to the league, so I don't know if that makes you worse or not. I guess that's for you to decide. But, yeah, so, I mean, okay, Josh, so looking into this year, so you said you treated it very much like redraft. You only took 1 kicker and 1 defense, and you still won the league. Obviously, no one was setting lineups, so it's not like you had more advantage by being active. You just drafted, and that was it. No one else could do anything from there. But are you going to treat it the same this year? Since you won last year, do you think you want to take more than 1 kicker and more than 1 defense, or you feel like it doesn't obviously prove to not matter? Do you think you winning was more of a fluke than anything?
I think that it is going to be pretty much like last year. I might start off with a kicker and defense just to get them out of the way,
Yeah.
and then go from there. But in all honesty, yeah, I'm not going to put a whole lot of thought into it. I'm just going to go into it, take players that I think are going to do better than players that are still that might be ranked higher.
Well, that's some big brain stuff there, Josh. Invest in a cough button. How about I just cough instead? Who needs a button when I can, produce the cough myself, Walters? So, I mean, okay, let's talk about before we're thinking about doing a mock here, and we will do a mock, but I guess I'll talk about my strategy for a bit, then you can talk about yours. So when I was going into this best ball draft last year, I won't want to say I was taking it over seriously, but of course you got Mick in there, you got Erickson there, you got Jack, and you got Connor, who talks a lot of shit. Al was in there. So I wanted, bragging rights is more than enough to motivate me to, put more than 0 effort in. So I went Kittle in the 2nd round. I was like, okay, let me lock this down. That obviously didn't work out long term, but I took a couple tight ends early. I was really trying to lock down the tight end market, and then I had a run of pretty much 4 QBs in a row. I took Tom Brady, Trey Lance, Jameis Winston, and Zach Wilson. Obviously, Tom Brady ended up being just fine, and those other guys were more so swings. But I took a lot of home run swings. I guess is my point, because I took a lot of either old people who should be valued at their age, or a lot of rookies who were, probably devalued just because they're so unknown. So I took a lot, probably too many home run swings. So it seems like that strategy was very different from yours. Do you feel like you played it safe in the draft? I guess when you say you played it like redraft, what does that mean in terms of draft strategy?
Draft to win. No,
Shut the fuck up,
I played
Josh.
it safe with the first few picks. Kind of went BPA, and then branched out a little bit further, like Amon-Ra St. Brown or whatever. He was one that I think probably should have been drafted later, based on how he was ranked early on. But I took a chance. Overall, I took a lot of rookies because I thought, okay, well, there's always going to be 1 or 2 rookies that step up and do well, and by a lot I mean 2.
I was just looking down your list. I was like, I see 3 rookies. Who are all these? Or I guess Amari Rodgers, was he even a player last year? I'm not sure that counts.
Yeah, well, Josh Gordon, you got him obviously.
That dude's 90 years old at this point, Josh. We've been talking about Josh Gordon for a long time. How dare you?
He's barely 30. 31.
He's barely 30. Is that so you don't feel so old because you're on the other side of the 3-0 now? Oh, Josh, you sweet, poor, innocent man. Oh, we lost Al. Oh, no. We called Al a loser for listening to us, and then he left. Did we sabotage ourselves, Josh?
Yeah.
God damn it!
Well, we tried. But okay. Do you just want to So we've kind of talked about best ball strategy a little bit, and this pod's kind of disorganized, so it might seem like we're just stumbling over ourselves a bit. But you just want to go through a mock and kind of talk through our process as we're going through it, and kind of say out loud what we're thinking, what we're doing. Does that seem like a good
Sure.
next step? Or is there anything else you want to talk about before we start?
No, let's get going. I'm hungry.
All right, randomize 1, randomize 2. We just switch positions. Randomize 3. All right. So I'm drafting in the 8th position of this 12-team half PPR mock draft, and Josh, you're all the way back in 12th. I guess before we start, we both agreed we'd randomize it. What would you have preferred your draft position to be in a best ball league? So last year you won from the 8th position. I was 7th. Now I'm in 8th. You're in 12th. Would you prefer to be more in the middle, or would you prefer to have an end?
Best ball, probably middle, but I'll still win in this mock. I'll win the mock.
Okay. Well, we'll just go ahead and start the draft, and I guess Josh just pray Jonathan Taylor falls to 12.
Damn it.
Oh, damn. Jonathan Taylor off the board. This gave us a 60-second pick timer. I imagine this pretty closely will follow the ADP, although it looks like Najee Harris was supposed to be 7. So Team 7 reached for Cooper Kupp there just by maybe 1 or 2 positions. So Jonathan Taylor, Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry, Austin Eckler, Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson, and Cooper Kupp all off the board. Those are the first 7. I'm pick 8. I mean, Najee Harris seems like such a bell cow, and we're not doing any fancy rules again. It's just half PPR. Big Ben is gone. I don't know what that offense is going to do. Oh, for best ball, I feel like Jamar Chase is you know what? I would almost always, I feel like, go running back first. Fuck me. This is tough, honestly. I'm going to take Jamar Chase. I just feel like his home run potential is much, much bigger. Maybe I'm making the same exact mistake I made last year, but after I take Jamar Chase at 8, it goes Joe Mixon, Devonta Adams at 10, Najee Harris 11, Josh on the clock at 12. What are you thinking? Back-to-back picks here.
Yeah, I think that this one is, like, with how the board fell, it could be a variety of different options, but going to go with the number 1 wide receiver over the past 6 years, tight end Travis Kelce. I don't know if McAfee read that stat. Like, there's only been 6 players in the past 6 years with 1,000-yard seasons, or just the numbers. He has the most receiving yards over the past 6 years. So yeah, he's like a wide receiver. And then this is kind of where I'm going to start making my reach, and I'm going to go with DeAndre Swift. Surprising pick there with the running back.
Reached one spot over who was next on the list? Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, but DeAndre, I had him last year. He was a top 5 wide receiver or running back until he got hurt. Durability is kind of his big thing, but I do like him as a player, especially in any sort of PPR format. So that is why I took him over Stephon. I mean, either one would have been fine by me.
Sure. So yeah, you've locked down the number 1 tight end, and you've got DeAndre Swift, Stephon Diggs, Tyreek Hill, and Nick Chubb are the next couple picks. I'm up here again at 2-5, drafting from the 8th position again. I've got Alvin Kamara, Josh Allen, and Mark Andrews all at the top of my queue here. I don't know. I don't have any problems with Alvin Kamara. Mark Andrews, I'm not going to take Mark Andrews this early. CeeDee Lamb, no. DB Samuel further down the list. I'm going to go with Josh Allen. I'm never afraid to take a QB early. Sleeper, I don't know if you're listening, Josh, but the sleeper mock draft just make a lot of noise there. But
yes, it did.
After I take Josh Allen, CeeDee Lamb goes off the board, Alvin Kamara. I mean, pretty much following the ADPs here. I guess, do you see anything crazy here from my 2-5 pick all the way now to my 3-8 pick? Maybe Leonard Fournette, to me, looks like the name that's sticking out. Obviously, you've been hitting on Ezekiel Elliott for a long time. He fell to the 3rd round, the first pick of the 3rd round.
That's a respectable spot for his trash ass.
Shut the fuck up.
I think the five running backs consecutive is pretty interesting. But no, I mean, Javonte Williams, I don't know. Everybody's saying he's going to be this big stud, but last year he had the opportunities and didn't do too much with it from what I remember. But yeah, like you said, following that ADP, pretty solid.
Yeah, so nothing crazy off the board here. I've got Jamar Chase. I've got Josh Allen. I've got 15 seconds to pick. Kyle Pitts is on the top of the list. I'm not sure I want Mariota's ass thrown to him. I don't know what to do. I am panicking. I'm just going to take David Montgomery and hope for the best. That was a panic pick. That was a tilt pick. But yeah, Kyle Pitts and Darren Waller go off, so Josh, you can't remake the same mistake you would last year. Not that you would have, because you already have a tight end, but you're back on the clock here. You've got a tight end, you've got a running back, and obviously it looks a lot different now. 23 players have gone off the board since your last pick. What are you thinking?
I'm going to go with, for this first one here, Justin Herbert is the kind of the safe one. He could have been the first or the second one. Just had him last year. He did well for me. Not a slouch in quarterback department there. Next, though, this is kind of tough because I don't like any of the players here. So I'm just going to go ahead and trade mine with the team 6 first-round pick.
Yeah, that's good. That's good
no, this is going to be. So this is going to be my time to pick top 3 wide receiver in the league. Just kidding. I'm going to go Deontay Johnson. I know Big Ben's gone, but the volume is probably still going to be there. He's going to have one
Chase
of
Claypool's
4 guys.
the number 1 receiver in Pittsburgh. You know that, right?
Well, he's top 3 in the NFL.
Antonio Gibson went off the board after you take Deontay Johnson. I was not going to take him, so I'm glad he's gone. James Conner I was really eyeing up, and then Terry McLaurin, Scary Terry, now getting thrown the ball by old break 2 ankles on 1 play Carson Wentz. T. Higgins still on the board. He got me into the championship game last year over Jeremy. Jeremy will not listen to this, but he doesn't like T. Higgins. He says, fuck T. Higgins. I got DK Metcalf looking at me, but Drew Lock's thrown to him. J.K. Dobbins, who knows? Josh Jacobs might honestly be the best play here, or Breece Hall. Do I take a rookie running back? Or, oh no, I'm going to reach a little bit. We got Walters listening. I'm going to go ahead and lock down Amari Cooper, whether it's Baker Mayfield thrown to him or Deshaun Watson. If he ever makes it on the field, we won't necessarily touch that topic right now. But Amari Cooper definitely has the potential to be a top receiver. And so I'll take Amari Cooper. I've got 2 top receivers now with Jamar Chase and Amari Cooper. A lot of players go off the board there, Josh. We're obviously not going to make the people. I'm not going to list them all off at this point. We're already in the 5th round of this mock draft, though. I'm back on the clock. What do you think about Amari Cooper? I'm interested in what you think about my last pick. Was that too far of a reach? Could I have taken someone else like Josh Jacobs or Breece Hall, or what would you have done in my position there?
I wouldn't say it's too far of a reach. I don't mind it. I think that he's a solid receiver going into a situation where he's either going to have an okay quarterback or an okay commercial making quarterback. And so good job, Walters. But I do think that Cooper's in a decent situation. He's going to get the volume there.
All right, we're down here. I'm at pick 5, pick 8 of round 5. Already down to 10 seconds left. I'm really screwing myself here. Do I take Elijah Mitchell, Clyde Edwards-Helaire? I'll just take CEH. Fuck it. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm panicking every pick. Good thing this is just a mock draft. But Josh, you're back on the clock again. The board looks ugly at this point. We're already at the back end of the 5th round with 12 teams. That's 59 players gone. What are you thinking here at pick 60?
I'm thinking that I don't want to be in the 12th pick anymore. Did somebody take my guy?
Who's your guy?
Oh. I had somebody lined up and then now I can't find him anywhere. Yeah, so I'm going to take 2 picks here back to back. I'm going to go with Marquise Brown. He's in a new situation with his college quarterback. Should be fun to watch. So he's on a team that throws the ball a lot more than last year. So I do think that he has that potential to be a kind of a shocker in a mid-round draft pick. And then I'm going to go ahead and go with the sun god himself, Amon-Ra St. Brown. He won me a championship last year. Not going to say he's doing it again this year, but he showed that he can perform with subpar quarterbacking. So hopefully his second-year step is just as significant as guys like Justin Jefferson and he's the only one that I can think of right now.
I mean, Justin Jefferson pretty much just repeated his rookie season. His second season was a little bit better, but I understand what you're saying. You want them to have a really great sophomore year. Miles Sanders went off the board after your Sun God pick, which is, I'm good. I wouldn't have taken Miles Sanders until like the 9th round because, I don't know, the dude gets drafted high for some reason. To your point, Walters, Elijah Mitchell is still on the board. I could now take Elijah Mitchell here at 6'5", but any San Fran running back, there's not a bell cow in that situation, so I don't know that I trust it. I could take Elijah right now. I'm not going to. Oh boy. Instead, I'm going to take A.J. Dillon and just Aaron Jones seems to be having more durability issues here on the back end of his career. I know Josh won't like me saying that, but A.J. Dillon definitely has been pushed by this organization. The coaching staff really seems to like him. And so whether he's going to get his, even with a healthy Aaron Jones, but without a healthy Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon is going to feed. How do you feel about A.J. Dillon's prospects this year, Josh, as far as best ball goes?
No comment.
No comment. Oh, boy. A lot of players went off the board. You guys heard it in the background there. So I'm back on the clock here at 7-8. I've got Jamar Chase, Josh Allen, David Montgomery, Amari Cooper, CEH, and A.J. Dillon. So I should probably go another receiver here, or maybe even a tight end. Brandon Cooks is on the top of the list. He's still in Houston. And I actually love Brandon Cooks. I thought Brandon Cooks has been a great value for years. I don't need a quarterback. There's no tight end worth taking here at all. So I feel this is the confident pick I feel most confident about. I'm going to go ahead and lock in Brandon Cooks, because I am a big fan of Brandon Cooks, and he's a very solid fantasy asset. Maybe not the home run swing I would want to take in a best ball league, but he should be solid production every week. Josh, you're back on the clock here at the 7-12. What are we thinking? You've only got one running back.
Yeah, no, that's kind of standard for my kind of draft strategy for a lot of leagues. And so like you said, we're playing in a best ball league, or we're drafting as if this is a best ball league. And so I do think that, oh shoot, I don't have the bye weeks listed here. What are the bye weeks?
You'll never, just who cares?
But so I would say that, it's never too early to get a second quarterback here. So I'm just going to go ahead and lock up the A-Raj back-to-back MVPs here.
You really think so, huh? Without Devontae. That's something we haven't talked about a lot. You don't have a lot of time to talk about it right now, but just very, very briefly, you think Rodgers is still going to be the player he was without, like, the guy who took 70% of his, completion share?
Well, see, and that's just it. Is that you can check out a lot of things. My second pick that followed Rodgers was Tony Pollard, the RB1 in Dallas.
How dare you?
But I think that it hasn't been a whole lot of games that Rodgers has played without Adams there, but in the games that he has played, he spread the ball out more, but he still produced the stats. It's not necessarily ideal. Obviously, you're going to want to have somebody like Devontae on your team, but the fact that he's not going to lock in on a receiver like he does Devontae, it might actually open up the field a lot more for some of the classic 5 wideouts that we had in the past when we had the Cobb, Nelson, Young Adams type, and James Jones, the hooded sweater, hooded cutoff. Yeah.
Sure. All right. Well, I understand why I keep failing my picks. So I keep letting you talk, and then my timer goes away. But I'm going to take the Slim Reaper here. He was wide receiver 30 last year. Just another year under his belt with Jalen Hurts. Maybe Jalen Hurts is in the future, but Devontae Smith proved all the haters wrong that he can be an NFL receiver despite his weight, despite his size. And I think Devontae Smith is only going to take another stride. Back here at the 9-8, so we're in the 9th round here. I was really debating on reaching on Robert Woods there at the 8-5 just because I really like Robert Woods. Always have. Took him a lot last year. Of course, it didn't really work out, unfortunately. But I was really hoping Robert Woods, now in a new situation in Tennessee, would fall to me at 9-8, and I almost took him last round at the 8-5. But now I have to be sad because he did not fall to me. Just 2 picks prior he went. But I was thinking about a tight end here. I think Pat Freiermuth is a great value tight end here in the 9th round. I mean, it's a new QB, I know. Some new QBs love their tight ends, some don't. We can't say for sure. I could go and try and look at the Kenny Pickett college tape, see if he likes tight ends or not. But regardless, I think Pat Freiermuth is a great value tight end. I don't have to wait until the end. I'm not scraping the bottom of the barrel. And Pat Freiermuth could have a great year. He was tight end 14 last year, so just outside of the tight end 1. I think is a great pick here in the 9th round. Josh, you're back on the clock.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take the other wide receiver in Pittsburgh, the one that's actually the top 3 wide receiver in the NFL. No, I'm just kidding. But no, I'm going to go kind of scroll down a little bit.
So you don't want to take Chase Claypool right there, buddy? Come on.
Nope.
Christian Watson?
See, I'm going to solidify my my running back core with the solid 1-2 punch of Ramondre Stevenson. He had some solid output last year.
Okay.
What?
Nothing. Please continue.
He had solid output last year, and he is definitely the number 2 guy on that team. He may not be the change of pace back, but if Damian Harris goes down, watch out, folks. And then, this is going to be the rookie sensation, Christian Watson, wide receiver 1 in the league. 17,000 yards for 600 touchdowns this season, guaranteed.
Doesn't Rodgers despise rookies, though?
Yeah.
You know what, Josh? Speaking of, I'm surprised this player hasn't been taken. They appear to be ranked 123. I guess I don't know what pick we're at right now. We're in the 10th round, though, so that's 100. That should be right around here. I'm going to take Allen Lazard. It seems like if anyone's going to get the lion's share of passing work in Green Bay, as long as Allen Lazard stays healthy, stays on the field, it seems like he's going to get every single pass that Rodgers can throw at him. That he can handle. So I'm going to go ahead and take Allen Lazard. The fact that you took Christian Watson over Allen Lazard is foolish to me, and I think Allen Lazard, especially in a best ball format, a significantly better play. I don't know what you were thinking, but I bet if we were to reflect on this at the end of the year, Allen Lazard has way more fantasy points than Christian Watson, and I don't think you'll be able to convince me otherwise, but you can try.
All right, that's fine.
Not even going to try, exactly. I think you're just mad that you didn't realize Allen Lazard was still out there.
I knew he was still out there, but I just went with the boom potential of Christian Watson. Allen Lazard's had some boom games, but he's also had quite a few games where he's irrelevant. Without Devontae, yes, he should step up to some relevancy, but he's not a speedster. He's more of a possession guy. Christian Watson can take it out of the backfield. He can, do that jet sweep that they like to run a lot, where they do the little touch passes. So I took that upside potential, and the draft capital is there. Haven't had a draft capital guy like this since Devontae, so yeah.
I don't know. I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel here for my team already. I'll let Josh take all my time again, even though I was looking at players. I'm looking at running backs here. I don't know who the fuck to take. I'm going to go ahead and take a big home run swing on the Houston rookie Dameon Pierce, because why the fuck not? I don't know what I'm doing. And I won't take all your time talking, Josh, but Dameon Pierce, rookie running back, new regime in Houston. Who the hell knows what's going to happen?
Yeah, I was actually eyeing him up. I was going to take him, and but then I remembered that he does have a guy on his the guy on his team, Marlon Mack.
Fuck you!
Yeah,
I was just gonna double tap Marlon Mack and Dameon Pierce. I hate you.
Yeah, well, that's what I was gonna do too. So you know what? Great minds must think alike.
Our minds are great. We have a podcast after all.
Right?
You're mocking me, aren't you?
Kind of. But yeah, so going with that there. And then I've got 30 seconds left on my next pick. See, right now, like you said, scraping the bottom of the barrel. I can go quite a few different things here. I could take a third quarterback. I could take, because, it's always funny because in these best ball leagues, if you don't have backup players in certain positions, there's going to be at least 1 week where you don't get any points for that position. And so if you just stock up on QBs, somebody doesn't get one or somebody has one, they're going to be screwed. So I could take a third quarterback here, but I think what I'm really going to do is, oh God, I can't find the guy I was actually going to get. I'm going to take Irv Smith. Coming off that injury, he's going to get some targets. Backup tight end it is.
I mean, the tight end. But we have Kevin O'Connell here, KOC. He's coming out of LA, of course. There's not really. I mean, Tyler Higbee's was the guy, right, in LA, and he's not like a big deal tight end at all. You really think that Irv Smith is going to translate in this new system?
It is the 12th round of a off-season June.
We're talking about best ball, Josh. I'm just like, do you really think he has the potential to boom? We're thinking about best ball. Do you really think Irv Smith is going to boom? I'm trying to get you to speak to that.
See, at this point, it's more so just a potential fill-in when Kelsey has a dud or is on bye. That's all I care about is just having bodies.
Well,
it's kind of like the Green Bay Packers offensive line for the last few years. They just need a warm body. Put them out there and they'll block.
All right, stop fucking talking. I'm going to take George Pickens here because similar to how Josh was trying to capture last year, and I didn't make this nearly enough rounds, but that's fine just for the podcast. But I feel like the best ball leagues are going to be won on these back half picks, like these picks that aren't supposed to be worth anything, but then they end up being like at least a wide receiver too, and they're in your lineup every week, but you took them in round fucking 12 through 15 or whatever. So that you kind of, I don't want to say you got lucky, but I mean certainly if everyone knew what Ross St. Brown was going to do last year, he wouldn't have gone where you got him in the 10th round or whatever it was. It would have been it would have been a lot sooner. So that's what I'm trying to speak to. I took George Pickens out of Houston. Hopefully him and other rookie Kenny Pickett can make some sort of magical connection. Evan McPherson's off the board. A lot of kickers are being taken right now because they think this is a redraft league and not a best ball league. And I really have no idea what to do at this point. I see Odell Beckham still available. He was having a pretty good Super Bowl until he got hurt. I think Odell Beckham has home run potential. I already have 5 receivers, only 3 running backs, but I think Odell could be a great best ball play, so I'm going to take Odell here. Again, I seem to be falling into my same strategy of last year, taking old people or like really young players, and I did not win last year, but fuck me. Josh, you're back on the clock, round 13 here. Whoofda.
Well, you did take the guy that I was looking at, to be honest. So
Nerd.
Kudos there. You actually have a chance of having the best team, if I was thinking about him. But similar to my last year's strategy, I'm going to go ahead and take the potential as opposed to the
stability,
the has-beens.
Oh.
So I'm going to go ahead and go with the guy out of who knows, but he has a first name, and then he has a first name that we all know, and then a last name related to Mr. Taco himself. I'm going to take, I clicked the wrong thing. I'm going to take David Bell, wide receiver, Cleveland. Yeah, you can go ahead and wow me. I don't care.
Wow!
And then for my next pick, since I get 2 back-to-back, because why not, I'm just going to go ahead and...
It's round 14, Josh.
You
Come
know
on,
what?
buddy.
You
You
know
can
what?
do it.
You know what? It's gonna be. It's hot out there.
Oh, Rodrigo Blankenship, the hot rod, huh, dude? Respect the specs and all that. I really fell off the hot rod because Evan McPherson really outperformed it last year, and I was on the big kick Mick train. But hot rod still a force to be reckoned with. But Josh went with kicker because we're pretty much at the end of the draft here, and that's not a home run swing by any means. But looking at who's left, I don't know. I took Josh Allen in the second round. I definitely think Jameis Winston could be a great play. Sean Payton's gone, so that's a pretty worrisome little. I don't know, not anecdote, but information, data point. There we go. Data point's the word I was looking for the whole time. But I think Jameis Winston definitely could be another great home run swing. And so, again, my logic seems to be flawed because I didn't even make the playoffs in this best ball league last year, but I can't change what my brain's doing naturally. So thinking about, trying to find great value, I think Jameis Winston could be great value. So I'll take Jameis Winston here in the 14th round of a best ball league. Jameis Winston looked like he was going to be hot shit last year before he, came off the field. So I really like Jameis Winston. And now the computer players are taking defenses and kickers because you couldn't set this up as a best ball draft, a best ball mock, which is unfortunate. But yeah,
we had defenses last year.
That's true. I guess I'm just saying they probably wouldn't take them in round 15 because I think we had like 20 some rounds last year.
True.
Anywho. Yep. It's my last pick here, round 15, because, again, I didn't adjust this. I probably should have. Do I want a backup tight end? Robert Tunning's available. Gross. Logan Thomas, I'm not sure he'll return to form. Gerald Everett. Trey McBride's a rookie. Taysom Hill, that's cheating. Mo Alley Cox, should I take him for the 15th year in a row where he does absolutely nothing? I don't know. Maybe. I don't see a tight end worth anything on this list, so shoot. Do I take Tim Patrick? I don't know. I'm out of time here. Nothing matters. I'll take Gus Edwards. We'll see. I don't know. That's just Gus Edwards is a waste of a pick, honestly, with J.K. Dobbins and whoever else they're going to sign out there in Baltimore. But Gus Bus looks like he's had flashes in the history. Maybe he can reignite. Josh, you've got Mr. Relevant here. Best ball draft. You've got one more chance at a home run if you want it, or you could take a defense that's top 10. What are you thinking here? Ooh, Khalil Herbert, huh? You think? I think he'll show some more than out. I mean, Tyreek Cohen wasn't even on the field last year because he was hurt all year. But you really think Khalil Herbert's going to have a chance to do something this year?
Yeah, I mean, Tyreek Cohen's not going to be on the field at all this year either. So.
Oh, he's not even on the team anymore. Is my point, but.
Right. Yeah, I think he's going to have more opportunity. He had a solid season last year in the weeks that he did play. So I'm looking at his stat line, and okay, maybe I exaggerated that he had one good week. But,
I didn't want to call you out at a turn, but I was like, what are you seeing that I'm not seeing?
It was probably the 1 week that I actually watched. Oh, yeah, because it was against Green Bay. Oh, no, they had 2 good weeks, 2 double-digit weeks. How dare you? One of them was against the Green Bay defense, which obviously is the number one defense in the world. So it's, he's a stud.
All right. Well, I mean, how do you, looking back now, we won't have to talk about it too long because I know you were in a bit of a hurry. I don't know if your baby's been crying for 40 minutes. That's unfortunate for you. But looking at your team, like, do you feel like you made a mistake at any point? Obviously, we didn't stop the timer at any point the whole time we were discussing. But looking at any of your picks, is there someone you wish you would have taken now in the heat of the moment? Did you ever go full tilt like I did a couple times? Or you feel good about your best ball team there?
Well, I don't know. See, that's just it. Is I don't know. If this were a redraft team, I'd have probably petitioned for a redraft. But
a redraft?
Since it is a best ball team, it all just kind of depends how it goes. You never know, bruh. Overall, not too upset with it. Travis Kelce, DeAndre Swift, Justin Herbert are kind of the top there. Hate my team though. After that.
You don't like Hollywood Brown. You don't like Deontay Johnson. You don't like the Sun God.
I mean, I like them, but as far as like if you're looking for a winning team, this just isn't it. They're not putting in the hours. They're not clocking in early and clocking out late.
They're not no lunch pail guys.
No lunch pail guys on this roster. It's kind of sickening, to be honest.
Sure.
We got these yuppies they're just the yuppies that sit around the mall food court picking on people less fortunate than them.
I mean, you went so because I guess my philosophy is always in redraft drafts is either go tight end or quarterback early. You don't have to force either, but if you go one, you definitely don't do the other. And you obviously took tight end in the first round, which Travis Kelce. You could call him a wide receiver if you want, but then you took Justin Herbert at the end of the third round. Is your strategy that different for best ball, or do you not think about it like I do, where you don't pick those scarce positions early? Do you not really care about that? Or that's something that's standing out to me about you is you're pretty much the only player in this whole mock draft that took a quarterback and a tight end within the top 6 rounds.
Yeah, well, we're playing against a bunch of computers and human-made computers, so we're better than them.
I remember that during the uprising.
Yeah, that's true. No, I typically do what you do, but being a best ball league, it was literally just these guys. These three were like the top pick available, so that's kind of what I went with. I should have a tight end one each week, a QB one each week, or like a top 3 tight end and a top 3 QB each week. It seems so. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it is all about the points at the end of the day. So, all right, I'm pretty happy with my team. I will guess looking at your team, I think Tony Pollard is the best value in the 8th round there. Even if it's at the start of the 8th round, I think Tony Pollard is the best value on your team. Me, I don't know. I feel like I took a lot of the middle of the road guys. I mean, I do really like the value of Allen Lazard in the 10th round. Like, I think that's nuts to me. Who should be, by all intents and purposes, will be the wide receiver 1 in Green Bay. For him to go in the 10th round with Aaron Rodgers still there, I think that's nuts. So I think that's my favorite value. I also really like Pat Freiermuth. Like I said, Odell Beckham could be a great player. And Jameis Winston, I was happy. Like, I'd be happy to have him on my real best ball team for sure. But, yeah, we'll see. Micah sounds like he's going to do Walter's out. That's fine. It sounds like Micah's going to do it again. If not, I guess, Micah, if you listen to this, I don't want to steal your best ball league necessarily, but I think it's great podcast content. So if you don't want to be the commissioner anymore, I'll take it over, and all the people that are in it can stay in it. But, I mean, just make it a podcast thing, and then, we can chat about it in the Discord as well, even though Sleeper does have their own chat feature. Yeah, I feel pretty good about my team, honestly. But I don't know if it'd be best ball championship worthy. All right, Josh. Anything else you want to talk about best ball, or do you want to talk about the new sleeper features real quick?
I want to.
Or do you want to leave?
I don't know. I want to leave. I'm hungry.
Okay.
And I want to see my child before bedtime.
Sure, I guess so. We don't have to talk about the sleeper features. If you just look up Sleeper on Twitter, they've posted 8 new things so far. It looks like they're posting 22 new things in total this summer. So 22 new features. Some of them aren't very important. Some of them are kind of cool. Nothing groundbreaking, I don't think, but it's just cool that they're always adding these new little, even if it's just new little things. So go check them out on Twitter and continue to follow along. Last thing I wanted to ask you about, Josh, I'll ask you directly. Do you want to be considered for the Champions League? Because obviously I'm starting to think fantasy again, and we kicked out David Sousen. David Sousen did not make the cut in the Champions League last year. He was the last place team. Do you want to be considered for the Championship League? Do you want to put your hat into the ring? I'm not saying you're going to get the spot because there are obviously other champions from last year, but do you want to be considered for the Champions League? Or are you still not ready to commit to yet another fantasy football league?
I'll throw my hat in the ring just to see what happens.
Sure. I'm thinking to you, and I'm thinking Connor. I'm thinking Brian Canup. Obviously, he just won the redraft league. So those are the three off the top of my head. And of course, Coon Rapids people or whoever else. If you have any new champions that you'd like for me to consider, let me know. I might do like a straw poll, not an official vote, but like a straw poll to see what other people's opinions are. But I'd like to remind everyone I'm ruling that league as a strict dictator mostly. So I'm not going to leave it up to a vote for who gets in. I'm just going to decide on my own. But I will take input from others. Anywho, Josh, I appreciate you chatting about me with Best Ball. Mika, if you end up listening to this, I look forward to your Best Ball league. If you're not going to do it, or if you don't want to do it, let me know and I'll start my own. Or I'll take yours over. Either way, I want to do another Best Ball. I want to do a slow draft over July, 24 hours a pick. It'll help keep my fantasy juices flowing through the dead days of summer. So, Josh, go hang out with your kid. Go eat some food. Walters, thanks for listening.
Go Pack.
Walters, thanks for listening. Al, thanks for listening when you're here. And anyone who listens afterwards, I appreciate you listening in the dead days of summer. And I'm trying to make these podcasts to keep myself fresh. And I hope listening breaks up your monotony or your boredom or whatever you're listening for. So, bye everybody. Have a great day. Appreciate you.